It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Showtime. Got a little oily, like shiny forehead. That's good. You know, oily skin. It may not be cool when you're young, because a lot of times, you know, you got oily skin, you may be prone to get acne. I didn't have bad acne, really, only a couple times, just mild. But they say as you get older, you don't wrinkle. So I guess they were right. All right, Monday through Friday, the Geno Jones Show. There you go. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 Chicago time, and everybody on Central Time. Tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Good news. For my regular fans of the Geno Jones Show, we're like 22 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. That means, so when you get 1,000 new subscribers, you become a YouTube partner. That means that every month, YouTube will monetize my channel here. I'll get a check from you. My media company will get a check from YouTube every month. So, and the more subscribers and the more viewers, because viewership has just been amazing. 5 years, this show has grown from like 0, like no subscribers, and 1 viewer, which is my mother, who's still watching today, and to here we are. So thank you. Spread the word. So my goal is to get 1 million. Don Lemon's got 1 million, so you guys will help me make that happen. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Shout out live in Los Angeles and Las Vegas. We're doing a thing here, okay? Oh, big shout out. Shout out to our brand new subscriber, subscriber, our first sponsor for 2026. Mayor Chardell Murray, the town of Hollywood, South Carolina, and Murray's Mortuary. They have 3 locations here in our area, the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. We call it the Low Country, because we like low, like sea level low. Because parts of the state, you know, the utmost northern part, like northwestern part of the state, you know, you got this mountains because it's right on the border of North Carolina. Anyway, I digress. Thank you, Mayor Murray. And Murray's Mortuary, they got 3 locations here in our area, North Charleston, South Carolina, and Johns Island, South Carolina, and Hollywood, South Carolina, the Geno Jones Show. You want to reach out to me? You want to be a sponsor? Geno Jones Show at Gmail. No the. Geno Jones Show. That's how you spell my name. Not a J-I, a J-E, not a G-I, because that's okay. You didn't know. Now you know. Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Shoot me an email. I'd love to have you as a sponsor, part of the Geno Jones Show family, and I'll make sure that I email you all the information that you need if you want to support the show financially. Zelle, Geno Jones Show at Gmail. You can do that. No amount is too small or too large. Or you can cash out $ Dad G Jones. That's all one word. $ Dad G Jones. If I need to, I'll give that out again at the end of the show. And the show is interactive. If you're watching me live right now, if you got a question, you got a comment, got a question for my guest. I got an incredible guest. I've known this brother. I've been here 20. It'll be in about 6 weeks. Yeah, in about 6 weeks. Maybe about 5 weeks. It'll be 21 years. But anyway, I've known him for about 2 decades. He's a leader, not just in the community, but nationwide. You get a chance to meet my buddy. He's a State Representative J.A. Moore. Just multi-talented brother. So we'll get into that. But the show is interactive. So if you got a question for me or my guest, or if you got a comment, or if you want me to shout you out, your birthday, shout out to my Aquariuses. My oldest daughter's birthday is in 9 days. So if your birthday's today or whenever, I missed it yesterday, you didn't reach out to me, you're watching today, reach out to me, but jump in that chat room. Don't forget to like, share this show, you can share and tag everybody you know on social media, all their social media pages. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click on the thumbs up. That's important because the algorithms look for that. All right, let's get it going here. First of all, let me start off because I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Michael, it's the biopic about Michael Jackson. Michael is titled Michael. The movie is coming out April 24th. It's going to be in theaters. Thank God, because, I mean, Netflix is cool and all that, but it's like, even though I'm not really crazy about being around, I'm around a lot of people for my job, as a host and MC and doing stand-up. But sometimes, but everything has been like, on Netflix or whatever, so it's cool to go to a movie theater. In this case, I won't mind going. So, and shout out to Jafar Jackson. So that's one of Jermaine Jackson's son. And so Jafar is playing his uncle. And, that boy look a lot like his uncle. I don't know, does he look more like his uncle than his daddy? Now, stop it. Shut up, stop. It's not what I'm saying, not at all. I know they get kind of messy in the Jackson family, but it wasn't Michael. It was Jermaine and Randy. It was kind of messy with the women, but that's a whole nother story. This is not the time for that. But April 24th, so shout out to Jafar Jackson. The trailer is out right here on YouTube. You can go take a look at it. This young man is amazing. I mean, it's like his uncle's spirit is in him. Because you really don't think you're looking at Michael Jackson, just from the trailers. And shout out to Nia Long, she's playing Katherine Jackson. And shout out to my man, what I want to call him, Coleman Domingo. I was going to call him Camingo. No, shout out to Coleman Domingo. He plays Joe Jackson, the dad. So I can't wait to see this. All right, before I bring my guest on, I want to shout out to, let's see here. Shout out to, who's this? Okay, I see you, my sister. Shout out to Sister Odom there watching me live. And, of course, my mother's checking in. Everybody else, let me know who's watching. Jump in the chat room if you got a question. Remember, the show is interactive. Okay, so before I bring on my guest, I want to speak to my Gen Zers and my Gen Alpha. Gen Zers are basically, 18 to like 28? And then Gen Alpha is like 17 and under. So I was having a conversation with my baby girl, Allie. She's the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the show. She's a designer, fashion designer, among other things. She's a fashion designer. She's a DJ. Like, she blends and mixes and mashes up. So if you need a DJ for a wedding or a club or whatever, we were having a conversation. And one of the things that I took from this conversation is that her generation, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha, they have lost faith, really, in all of us grown folk. Even though she's 24, she's grown, but your brain is not fully formed until you're 25. But her generation and her generation under her, it's clear because I've heard this so many times, and then her and I really had a conversation. We talk all the time, but it's clear because it's not the first time she has expressed this sentiment of just losing faith in government, in institutions, in society. It is hard for her generation to find work, even with they got degrees and bachelor degrees in bachelor of fine arts and master's degrees, and it's still hard for them to find work. But the student loans are due now, so you got the student loan companies harassing these young people, and it's hard for them to find a job, and companies don't want to pay. But the cost of living, everything is sky. They can't afford to buy a home. Hell, they got to stay with their parents, or get roommates, 8 people in a 3-bedroom house. I may be exaggerating a little bit, but not much. So the point is that our Gen Zers and our Gen Alphas, they have really lost faith in all the institutions that are supposed to be there to support them, to help them, to give them an opportunity to get in the workforce and just to establish themselves and eventually buy a home and this American dream. That's a whole nother conversation. But I want to just say this, and I'm going to get into it more, but I wanted my guest to come on because I know he can speak to that. He works with a lot of young people, and he's just really a really positive brother. And the fact that he is in government, so you can make an argument he's part of this power structure that our young people have lost so much faith in. And you look at the Epstein files and all these powerful people that were raping and molesting girls, like young girls, preteens. So you could, if I was 24 or 22 or 19, I'd probably look around and be like, man, y'all grown folks, y'all F some shit up. I can't believe anything you say, and nothing's working. Just look at what's happening. I mean, you got these ICE agents literally murdering people on the street. But what I want to say to my young people, and I think tomorrow will be a deep dive. I'll go into a deeper dive. But my young people, my Gen Zers and my Gen Alphas, you have the power. It might not seem like it, and it might seem like it's hopeless, and that these institutions, the government is not working. Why do we even have a government? That's a whole different conversation. We don't have a government. We have a regime now, but I digress. But the point I want to make is that you have more power than you realize. And guess what? These old folks just effing everything up, they know you have power. That's why they're seizing ballots down in Georgia. And that's why they're trying to make it so hard for people to vote and to spread hate, division, fear, bigotry, misogyny, sexism, patriarchy, all of it. Because they realize that if you all really step into your power, because Gen Z and Gen Alpha, you all got the numbers. And Gen Z, if Gen Z and millennials got together, because there are more Gen Zers and millennials than it is any other age group. So really, you all have, the math is on your side. If you all just vote as a block, you could take over and change the world. You could change the system. You could completely change the way America is governed, because you have the power to put people in positions to help you create the world create the community and the country that you want to live in. And if those people don't respond and keep their promise, you can vote their ass out. On that note, let me bring on my guest. He is a multi-talented, I'd have to multi-hyphenate this brother. He's a chef, he's a business owner, and he is the representative, South Carolina State Representative for District 15. Just an incredible dude. As a matter of fact, you've probably seen him on television. He's worked with Kamala Harris and some other people. So without any further delay, and he is truly a friend of mine and a friend of the show, ladies and gentlemen, there he is, looking like $6 billion, looking like he should be running. We might have to put you in the Senate there, brother. Representative J.A. Moore. Thank you, brother. We finally got you on, man.
Yeah, man. Geno, I want to tell you how proud I am of you and your leadership when it comes to being a messenger for so many of us who believe in justice, who believe in freedom, who believe in liberty, who believe in moving the culture forward. It's been an honor and a privilege to call you a friend, someone that I look up to, a mentor. for a long time, brother. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity just to give you your flowers in the moment where you're uh, building a movement. And I'm just so proud of you, brother, and so proud of the work that you continue to do, not just here in South Carolina, but across the country. So I want to say thank you so very much for your leadership.
Well, thank you, brother. I didn't see that. That wasn't on my bingo card. I am humbled by that, and I really appreciate it. But the feeling is mutual. I've watched the way you've moved since I've been here. Like I said, for 2 decades now. And one thing that I've admired from afar and up close, because we've talked many times. Full disclosure. One thing I've learned, Representative, they're politicians and public servants. And I've learned, and I got a shout out to Representative Gilliard. One of the first things he told me about almost 20 years ago. He said there's a difference between a politician and a public servant. But it should be the same because, really, by definition, politicians, your job description is to serve the public, to serve your constituents, which is the public. But I want you to, there's so many things going on. So I'm just going to kind of set the table, and because I know you're great at tying everything in, but I want you to speak to the concerns. I talked about having a conversation with my youngest daughter, who's a Gen Zer, Allie, and I've had this conversation with her, and I've had it with a lot of young people. I know you have a passion with working with young people in the next generation and being a mentor. So I'm sure that you've been involved in these conversations or heard them in the barbershop. But it is clear to me, Representative, that especially our 20 somethings, our Gen Zers, and our Gen Alphas, which is like our teenagers, even some millennials, they really have lost faith in government, this government, which is a regime, as far as this is me talking,
Right.
a regime in all kind of institutions. You look at what's happening, the more and more Epstein files come out, you see all these powerful people, CEOs and people who were in politics, powerful people in every industry that was a part of this. I don't know what to call it. It was just evil, but it was almost systematic to how so many thousands of young women, underage, teenagers, preteens, were victimized.
Yeah.
And the people that should have been protecting these children were a part of abusing these children, part of sex trafficking these children. So if you look at the time, and you look at people being, American citizens being shot down in the middle of the street in broad daylight, and I say, you know what, if I was in my 20s, if I was a teenager in my 20s, I would probably look around and be like, what the hell is wrong with you all? I can't believe anything you all say, because everything seems to be a lie. So I want you to speak, if you don't mind. You can speak to just the general population, but speak to our Gen Zers and Gen Alphas, because they are really, it's their time now. They are the future leaders. In a lot of cases, they're the leaders now. Probably they probably do be doing a better job as a leader than some folks 2 or 3 times their age. But I want you to speak to young people that have lost faith in like all the institutions, government, society. It just seems like I said, it's hard for them to find a job, and they see everything else going on, because you are a part of government and a part of
Right.
this institution, and there's still people that's standing in the breach and standing on business like yourself, but we don't see and hear enough of that. So I just want you to speak to these young people and let them know, like I did, that they have the power, and they really have the power to change the world and to create the community and the country that they want to live in.
Yeah, again, Gino, first, when it comes to what we saw that's already been revealed in that Epstein file, I've been calling for members of Congress to do that for a long time now. And, for too long in this country, and quite frankly, around the world, people with immense amount, unfathomable power and influence and money have thought that they could take advantage of the least of these. And you're talking about young people, young women in particular. And so I'm glad that that kind of stuff is coming to light. There's still a lot more accountability. It's one thing to shed a light on it, but we also need to have some accountability. As you know, as it relates to the Epstein file, we've only had Epstein, who was on trial before his untimely death, and Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving time for these crimes. And you're talking about thousands of young women that were victimized. So there's a lot more accountability that needs to happen. But when it comes to our young people, let me be very clear to all of our young people. You guys' voices, your actions are driving the agenda of what's going to happen in the next 10, 15 years, the next 5 years, next 5 months. Because again, I was, all of you at one time, I was, as you know, marching and shouting and raising hell and not liking what I saw in government and the private sector. And again, I activated myself, and now again, I'm a part of government. But again, like this is nothing for me that is. I'm not discouraged. I'm actually encouraged because it is the next generation's time to lead, and they lead. They're leading in their discourse. They're leading in their opposition of how things are. And again, that is the role of young people. The role of young people is to always challenge the status quo. I said it when I was in my early 20s. It reminded me of 1964 to 1968. And once again, young people are in that same moment where they have to make a decision. What will they do? Again, and there's so many different other outlets that young people have now where their voices can be uplifted, they can be mobilized. And what we have now with the advancement in technology is the opportunity for young people to mobilize in a decentralized way. And that to me is so exciting, so encouraging. I'm more excited and hopeful and passionate and like ready to fight the good fight because of what I'm seeing for young people. I'm excited that young people are pissed off. I'm excited that young people are fired up. I'm excited that young people don't like what they're seeing because with that excitement comes change. I'm a living witness of that change that we want to see. So I'm excited. I'm encouraged. I always talk to young people, and it uplifts me. It motivates me. It encourages me. It inspires me. Every action word and every action that I've ever taken is because of the leadership of young people.
So Jay, let's be specific. I want to know because at the end of the day, us older adults,
Right.
I always tell people if they see a child acting out or whatever, or if they see a child engaging in any kind of bigotry or hatred or violence or evil, you be it misogyny, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, bigotry, racism, whatever. That children don't come in the world like that. All those
Right.
things are learned behavior. So what do we as older adults, leaders, because we all are leaders, and I explain to people that you can't, because really you made an excellent point, which is really kind of making the point that I want to go to now. Politicians are vessels. They are delivery systems. But a good politician responds to the people they represent. You just talked about young people. If you look at the civil rights movement in the 60s, those were people in the 20s, teenagers. You even had the Birmingham, you had the adults that wouldn't ride the bus, but a lot of those protests in the South, civil rights, you had kids because the parents and the adults were afraid to get out and protest for fear of losing their jobs. So
That's
you
right.
had children, teenagers, and folks in their 20s out protesting. But we, as older adults, we have got to take responsibility and own a lot of this shit and change our ways. So
I think our role as those of us that have lived a little is to pour in our wisdom and our experiences, but those action words have to be led by the younger generation. I remember talking to my father, the late James Moore Sr. He was very active in the civil rights movement, and what he found when he was in his early 30s and late 20s, when they were mobilizing in rural South Carolina, it was young kids, it was middle schoolers and elementary kids and high schoolers that were marching and willing to give up their lives. And my dad, to your point, just acted as a guiding vessel and a helper to the movement that was led so eloquently by the younger generation that was before us. So again, I think our role as folks that have been a little more experienced is to lead through guidance, to let young people lead through their actions. And we can't get in their way. We have to be uplifting them. And they're not going to do it like we did it. They're going to do it how they're doing it. And again, we have to be good with that, and we have to encourage that. And again, like I said, and provide whatever guidance that we can. But at the end of the day, radical changes happen with radical actions. And right now, it requires radical actions. And again, and as as older or experienced people, our role is just to guide, but not to dictate.
I love that. And we all, regardless of our age, have a role to play. So I want to segue into, this is an election year. We have primaries, I believe, across America. Some primaries starting as early as March. I know we got primaries. We have a U.S. Senate seat that's up for grabs. We have House of Representatives seat here that's up for grabs. And there's a lot of concern. One of the most huge concerns is just the horror, the domestic terrorism. These are my words, okay? These are my words that I see with these quote unquote ICE agents and Customs and Border Patrol, this level of inhumanity. Because for me, Representative Moore, what I see is a choice between, it's beyond a political ideology. For me, it's simple. Either we lean into humanity and we see each other's common humanity, or we lean into this inhumanity and hatred and evil. And there's a lot of concern. And what I've been explaining to people, especially here, don't think that what you've seen in Chicago or LA or what we're seeing in Minneapolis, don't think it can't come here. Because it absolutely can come here.
It's already came here. We had a large scale ICE raid at the Alamo nightclub last year. And so, I mean, here's what one of the things that we have to keep in mind about what we're seeing with ICE. You got to remember, these are Americans too. We don't want to otherize them either. What you have is bad policy, bad leadership, bad direction, not being trained well, and they're taking an adversarial position because that's what leadership is telling them to do. These are misguided Americans that are making terrible decisions. They're murdering Americans, and this isn't a racial thing. The last two victims of murder in Minneapolis were two white folk.
Yes.
And so this isn't about black and brown people. This is about American citizens. And we as a collective have to recognize that we don't need to otherize anybody. We need to realize in order for us to live in a more just, a more liberated, a more free society, it requires us to demand more from our leadership. And I'm all about protesting. I'm all about marching. I'm all about confronting inequalities in its face. And that is a main part of what we need to do. But what we have to do also is that we have to change the leadership at the top. And part of the activism that we must do is we must organize during this election season. We can't get disenfranchised ourselves, and we have to demand things to be different. And that's all of us again realizing what our roles are. My role as an elected leader is to listen to the constituency here in South Carolina and let their voices drive my agenda. And what I'll tell you, I've traveled all over the state, all over this country, and across the world. No one wants to live in a police state. No one wants fellow citizens to gun them down simply for assimilating and protesting against what we believe to be unjust. And so this for me isn't about being anti-ICE. This is me about being anti-inhumane practices that are being perpetrated by ICE agents under the leadership of the current administration. And we have to change that, and we have to fight like hell and not give up on that. And so let's be really clear about my language. Like, we got to be tough and fight against this inhumane treatment of Americans. But we cannot authorize these ICE agents. They're undertrained. They don't have a clear direction of what they're doing. And we have to demand that they redirect their focus on their role. And we have a bill here at the State House. I'm here in Columbia this week that they're working on. We're making it mandatory for all local law enforcement at the state, county, and municipal level. They must cooperate with ICE. Again, that's not in the purview of local law enforcement. Local law enforcement should not be enforcing immigration policy. So let's be clear, we have to fight against that bill, and we're going to do everything we can that are opposed to federal government overreach. We do not want to live in a police state. And to the Republicans that may see this, they got to realize that their liberties are being trampled upon, their freedoms, their rights, because those of us that are on the right side of this, we're already aware of it and fighting against it. It's the naivety of being in power that, again, will make you powerless. Let me say that again. The naivete of being in power will make you powerless. So we need to make sure that we're focused on that.
And I like the point you made, and I've talked about it. And just to reiterate, because what I'm seeing, this is my take. What I'm seeing, you mentioned Renee Good, Alex Preddy. These were white Americans that were gunned down in broad daylight in the middle of the street. But we have brother Keith Porter Jr., who was killed New Year's Eve. As a matter of fact, there's a third person that was killed in Minneapolis. The media doesn't even talk about that person or mention their name. There was a priest in suburban Chicago, Broadview, Illinois, where ICE had headquarters, who was shot in the face with some type of munition. I don't know if it was one of those canisters or balls. You probably saw the video.
That's right.
It was a white priest with his collar on and got shot in the head. So I'm going back to what I said at the beginning of this part of the it's clear that this whole construct of race is a con. It's a con game.
That's right.
It's a whole nother I've been talking about that for 5 years. And it was this whole construct. Europeans never called themselves white before the 15th, 16th
That's
century,
right.
1680s.
That's right. And what I'm telling you now, what they're doing, it's about dividing and conquering.
Yes.
And they're otherizing. Now it's left versus right. And they don't care whether you white, black, or brown. It's just left versus right, or my way or the highway. And I'm telling everybody, and especially those that think their team is in power. No, if my freedoms and liberties are being trampled upon, so are yours. And again, we've given numerous examples because tyranny and power doesn't see color. It doesn't see race. It doesn't see religion. It doesn't see gender. It doesn't see sexual orientation, and it doesn't see party. And so we all must be fully engaged and aware of what's going on, and we can't get caught up in otherizing and boogeyman and anybody. The ICE agents are not my adversaries. It's the policies and their conduct and their actions that I'm averse to. And that's what we have to focus our attentions on.
So let me just say this, Representative, because here's the situation. And as a leader and as a political leader, your level of humanity is wonderful. But for people who are watching these ICE agents all across America, say, and even being caught on tape, basically saying that they don't see citizens, American citizens, with a First Amendment right, Fourth Amendment right. They don't even see them as humans. They see, they don't see, they didn't, obviously, those two ICE agents that killed Renee Good didn't see her humanity. Before she was shot in the face, she said, dude, I'm not mad at you. Alex Preddy was worked at the VA hospital, ICU nurse. His job was to do everything he could to save the lives of veterans that put their lives on the line. So how do you? How do you navigate when people don't see your humanity? Now I love what you're saying. You got to hold the people accountable that has empowered
That's right.
them. Speak on that.
Yeah. So I mean, let me be clear. I mean, what we see in their action is inhumane. But what I'm telling you, for me, I'm not going to lose my humanity in someone else being unhumane, and that doesn't mean that we need to be docile. That's not what I'm saying. I'm a fighter. Oh, you almost had me cussing. I'm a fighter, and I believe strongly in us being distant, being strong, being forceful, having our backs up straight, and looking in the face of evil actions and not backing down. But what I'm also saying is that we as people with humanity cannot lose it.
Yes.
Because again, this is what this current administration, and more importantly, the people that want this current administration in power, is what they want. They seek power, and they want all of us to be indoctrinated to become unhumane. And I refuse to become non-human. What has made humans the rulers of the world that we live in is our humanity, our ability to feel for other humans, our ability to feel for other animals. And that's strength. That's not weakness. Like, don't get it twisted what I'm saying. I'm saying this with a balled up fist and a straight back. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna fight, but we're gonna be humans, and we're gonna fight like hell for our humanity.
My man, that's my man. That's Representative Moore, but that's right there with the balled up fist. That's my man Jay right there.
Oh yeah, man. You know, it's like don't let the Gucci top fool you. Now, like I'm still, I'm still right here, man.
Well, listen, I know you're working on some important things because we got a lot of issues here in the state. I want you to speak to that, and then in closing, just speak to. And I want to go back to where we started because it's so important. We had 90 million people that didn't even vote in November 2024. And our Gen Z and our Gen Alpha, our young people, there's so much untapped power. And like their frustration and their anger with all the hypocrisy and just frank bullshit, because they see the hypocrisy and they look at us collectively like we're crazy. But I do everything I can on this platform to explain to them, say, you all have the power. And that's the fear of this regime, and the fear that people who are responsible from a policy standpoint, and the people, the CEOs and the billionaires that's bankrolling this, that's making money off of this fear, division, and hatred. You all, the Gen Zers and Gen Alphas specifically, but all of us, when we come together, we can shut this shit down. So speak to some of the main things
yeah,
you're
man.
working on here in the state,
I
and
mean,
speak to those young people for
I'm
me
telling
again.
you, yeah. Again, my main message is there's a supermajority here at the State House, both in the Senate and the chamber in the House chambers. They have the governor's mansion. They have both of the U.S. senators. They have 6 out of the 7 congressional seats. So all of the challenges that we have here in South Carolina as it relates to education, as it relates to income inequality, as it relates to crumbling roads and bridges, as it relates to outcomes. All of these things is because we've had Republicans that are so focused on power and not about the people. And again, I know it sounds like bullshit or might just sound flowery, but I'm telling you, people, we have to like the reason why I won back in 2018, and as you know, Geno, is the people came together. We flipped the seat. We turned, and it was a black Republican, and you know they like their tokens. What we did is we flipped the seat because the people had the power to make a change. And again, I'm a living witness of it. I'm a living witness of the power of the people. And it's who I've always been. It's who my family has always been. We're fighters. We're people that think the long game. And again, part of it is being strategic. I can be angry, I can shout, I can scream, I can cuss people out, and I do it. But what's more important is that, again, as a more experienced person now, my role is to analyze everything I'm seeing and let the young activate me, activate all of us, and figure out from a policy and a strategic mindset of how we impact the changes that we need and we must see. And so again, I'm focused on it. I'm committed to it, and I need all of us as a collective. And again, more important right now than one specific policy initiative is we need to initiate on the ground activation of all of us. All of us should be turned up right now. All of us should be like, I'm turned. I'm not taking the shit anymore. And the only way we do that is organized during election season, and the primaries are important as well, and the general election. And so I'm ready to roll. You know what I'm saying? I'm not been more encouraged than I am in this moment.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because I actually feel the same way, and it may sound crazy, and don't get me wrong, because I am beyond outraged, but I thank God I have a platform to express that outrage, but to give people solutions. Because and one of the main things I've been saying, and I'll say it again, the way to get people's attention with money and power is to dig in their pockets. And so I am saying that it is time for us not just to hold those who set policy, hold them accountable, hold the power, hold the financial power. These CEOs and these companies, these bank presidents, hold them accountable. My grandmother would say, Jeannie, don't beg nobody to take your money.
Right, that's right.
So we have to
and that's why I'm
everybody accountable.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so proud of what you're doing, your Black-owned media. That's why I support Black-owned media. You're doing it. You're not waiting on anyone to give you an opportunity. You're creating opportunities for yourself and so many other people. And again, that's what we don't need to wait on anything. We don't need to wait on a savior. We don't need to wait on elected officials. We don't need to wait. We need to do it now. The movement is called the movement because it's moving. Like I don't ever stop. Like I don't ever stop. I'm constantly engaging. I'm constantly moving forward. This movement is something that my dad got engaged with in 1963, and we have not stopped as a family since then. The movement doesn't stop. We're actually just getting started. And we're still in the first quarter.
And the beautiful thing is, you just spoke to it. And people, I want you to realize, everybody, especially, and I'm really focusing on my Gen Zers and Alphas, because I guess having one in the house, but just talking to a lot of them, because I talk to and mentor a lot of young people in barbershops or wherever, is that know that you've got the power and step into your power, and don't let anybody punk you out of your power. Because
Yeah,
Representative Moore
and
will
Gino,
tell you, it's the people. The people are the
that's right.
leaders. We all are
And
leaders.
Gino, like, let me say this, like, don't wait, do it now, like tonight. Like,
Yes.
don't, like, like, you know, and you don't need me or Gino or anyone else to tell you to press go. Press go. Just go. Like, get started. And along the way, there's those of us with more experience that will guide you and give you advice. But don't wait on nobody. When I decided that I was running for office, I didn't ask for permission. I did it. And again, we beat a Republican, a black Republican, a token Republican, in the state of South Carolina, and we've held this seat for almost 10 years now because I didn't wait around for no one to give me permission. The
And
movement
and
never stops, y'all.
and I will say this. For him, he's not going to brag on himself, but I will say this. And the fact that he's been in office for 10 years, he's been putting in the work and getting results. And this is for everybody, but specifically to my Gen Zers and Alphas. Use your power. Put people in office. Politics is a delivery system. Resources, opportunity. All right, resources, financial resources, other resources to make your life better. And if people are not delivering, or last night, a representative, my daughter was talking about, well, they all make promises. If you put somebody in office and they make a promise to make your life better, or they make a promise in terms of a policy they don't deliver, you know what? You got the power. You voted them in. You can vote them out.
Amen. That's right. Amen.
All right, let everybody know, Representative. Thank you, man. I know I went way over, but you family.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna just say this real quick. You can follow me on all social media platforms at JAMOOREFORSC at J Moore for SC. Twitter, Instagram, Thread, TikTok, all of it. And you can reach me 843-765-0384. That's 843-765-0384. Text or call me or email me, ja@jamoore4sc. Like seriously, the movement starts this very moment. Don't wait until the morning. Do it now, y'all.
I love it. All right, that's Representative J. Moore. Chef, what's your specialty, man? What's your specialty? What's your go-to dish?
Sweet potato deviled eggs.
What is it?
Sweet potato deviled eggs. Sweet potato deviled eggs. I make a really good beet hummus. I do a really good shrimp and grits. I can cook everything, man. I'm not limited.
All right. I love it. Representative J. Moore, man. Love and respect. Thank you. You got a permanent home. So I want you to have a regular presence, especially this election year, because your message is so important.
Please go out and vote. I'm up for re-election. I got I filed in March, but I'm letting the folks on the show. I am running for re-election, and I appreciate all your support. Vote more, get more. We ain't done yet, y'all.
We're gonna get you back in there. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
peace.
Representative. Be blessed, brother. Thank you.
All right,
That's
thank y'all.
Man, Representative J. Moore. He's real. See, y'all sleep on my man. He's no joke. All right, listen. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and you, especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Tell everybody to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're about 22 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. So that means that my media company will get a check from YouTube. You heard Representative Moore say it is so important that we support Black-owned media. It is, because we have to have a platform. No bullshit, no lies, none of that. Speak truth to power. And as Gene Jones, my grandmother, would say, tell the truth and shame the devil. So thanks to everybody that was watching. Once again, shout out to Mayor Shardell Murray. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by the town of Hollywood, South Carolina. Mayor Shardell Murray and Murray's Mortuary, 3 locations here in our area, the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. at North Charleston, Johns Island, and Hollywood, South Carolina. And we love to have you. As a sponsor of the Geno Jones Show, just shoot me an email, GenoJonesShow@gmail. Geno Jones Show. All one word, no the. GenoJonesShow@gmail. I'll shoot you all the sponsorship information you need. You can support the show financially. You can do it two ways. Using Zelle. Use my email address, GenoJonesShow@gmail, or you can Cash App, $Dad G Jones, all one word, $capital D, lowercase a d, capital G J, lowercase O-N-E-S. No amount is too small or too large, all right? Shout out to Mark Hill Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts. Check him out on Instagram or IG. Kel Be Cuttin' Up. KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check her out on IG, Instagram. Her Lexi Jones collection, also LX.NCL_. LX.NCL_. Thank you once again. Representative J.A. Moore, he represents District 15 here in the state of South Carolina. He's running for re-election. He will definitely be re-elected. I'm just telling you, because his constituents love him. And he gets the job done and he delivers for his constituents. All right, so thank you, Representative Moore. You'll see him back. He'll be back. All right, everybody. I love you. Remember, love. Love is a verb. I don't care what the dictionary, I know the dictionary, Webster's, that's their definition. They say in Webster's, love is a noun. Actually, love, real, as Mary J. would say, real love is a verb. It's an action word. Show your love. And I love you. And we'll see you live Wednesday, Working Divas Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Thanks for watching, everybody.
When Geraldine and I tell our girls about growing up in the 80s and 90s, it's like talking about a whole different planet. We used to play outside till the streetlights came on. We drank straight out of the water hose, ran everywhere, explored, got lost, got hurt, busted our knees, our heads, and our butts. Nobody knew where we were, what we were doing, or who we were with. I'm Chris Jones. I'm a rocket scientist, a minister, and a girl dad. And I have a theory about why childhood and everything else feels different now. Because gravity hasn't changed, but the price of a trip to the hospital has. Blue jeans, Jordans, gas, groceries, and health insurance. Everything is more expensive, and it's scaring us out of risk, innovation, and the joy of life itself. It was more affordable to fall, to fail, to get back up. And our parents trusted America enough to let us run free. Bankruptcy was for gamblers and crooked real estate developers, not middle-class families, not teachers, not cancer patients. I'm running for Congress because the fall of the American working class wasn't an accident. It was a political decision. Meet my congressman, French Hill, the most powerful banker in America. He's my opponent, but he's your problem too. He chairs the Financial Services Committee and fights anything that looks like consumer protection. The law to limit overdraft fees to $5.
This is a change that could save American households $5 billion in overdraft charges every year.
French Hill killed it. Yep, they even found a way to make being broke more expensive. If there's anybody who's got to go, it's him. I'm blessed. I studied hard, earned 2 degrees from Morehouse College, then 2 masters and a PhD from MIT. I married my best friend, who's a combat veteran and an ER doctor. God gave us 3 beautiful daughters, and along that journey, I earned the votes of 319,000 Arkansans who believe we deserve better. I have good news for you. You can still go outside till the streetlights come on. We call it organizing. Just you and a few friends fighting for your freedom, standing up for each other. We have 12 months to win this election. We have a poll that makes this a 1-point race and a grassroots organization that has been growing for 3.5 years. This district is full of fighters. We're doing the hard work, and we need you to join us.
subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.